Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm Brett. In my hands is Borders, a really fascinating graphic novel you can get now. It's written by Thomas King, illustrated by Natasha Donovan. And it's a fascinating graphic novel about identity and how we define our identity in today's world. So I grew up not too far from the Canadian border in Buffalo. Have a lot of experience going back and forth between the border, between the countries across the border. So it was really interesting reading this kind of based off my experiences, which haven't all been positive. There's been times that I've been told to turn around and head back and not allowed into Canada. So this is a story about two individuals, a boy and his mother, who are attempting to go from Alberta to Salt Lake City to go and visit the mother's daughter, boy's sister, and they're thwarted at the border. When they attempt to go into the U.S., they're asked their citizenship, and response is Blackfoot. Not exactly the answer the Border Patrol is looking for. So they're told to go back, get to the Canadian border, and when asked what their citizenship is, the answer is Blackfoot. Again, not the answer that they're looking for. So they're kind of caught in no man's land. They're caught between the two borders, where all they have to live and deal with is the duty-free shop that is in between the two borders. And they try multiple times going back and forth, and all they do is respond Blackfoot. It's a very fascinating story about the identity, the connection between the two, the connection between this family and their daughter. And it's interesting, and it's one that kind of gets you think of how do we define ourselves? How do we, what labels do we put on ourselves? How do we see ourselves? And also, while it's not really mentioned, it's kind of underplaying is the fact of these two nations. The Blackfoot Nation was there long before that border existed. I think it's towards the beginning. Mother talks about how there's the Blackfoot Nation expands across the land across the border, and you kind of think about why this person should have to define what citizenship they are. They are Blackfoot. Canadians have imposed their citizenship on this person whose relatives were there before Canada existed. The Americans are imposing the American citizenship on these people whose relatives existed before the United States existed. It's not mentioned, but I think it's underlying. It's definitely there, and it's something I kept on thinking about as I read it. The other big thing is that there's a lot about the connection between the mother and her son, the mother and the daughter, the son and the daughter. Throughout this as well, it's very understated, it's very muted, but I think it's really fascinating. Just that kind of, it's funny is that what drives the mother and the daughter apart is both of them are a bit, stuck. They are a bit, they don't want to, admit they're wrong, sort of thing, and it pushes them apart. They are very, you kind of know the personalities, but at the same time, it's kind of what the mother does at this border, and in the end, it's her standing up for what she believes in, that her, how she views herself, kind of her rights in many ways, and what drives her daughter apart is also what gets you to champion her at the border. So this is an advanced proof. The art's not completed, and a lot of things. The color is not completed. It's mostly black and white with what I read, and there's actually pages where the art's missing. So what I call this very, very rough proof, advanced proof. You can kind of see some of that there, which was fascinating reading, and didn't bother me at all. I actually I still really like the art that I looked at, and I actually really appreciated the rough art in many ways. It kind of reminded me of animated, with animators, how they kind of do the scenes and work on the rough animation to get the scenes down. So I thought that was actually really cool. But the art that I've seen is really solid and excellent, and I like it a lot. It's a very fascinating graphic novel. I wasn't quite sure where it would go. You know, I'm still kind of sitting there thinking about it and you know, trying to go into those deeper meetings and like really, you know, it's a story that it's kind of sticking with me for a little bit and getting me to think, which is a good thing. So yeah, I mean, it might be out in comic shops. Not 100% sure about that. Go hit up your comic shop. We got a link beneath this video. Put in your zip code. Tell the comic shops near you. No shop, no problem. We'll definitely have some affiliate links underneath. There are affiliate links, so we get a small percentage by doing that. You help support our site. It's definitely out in bookstores. Go support your comic shop. You know, if you can, go hit them up. If you are in, first want to say, you know, thanks to Little Brown Books for hooking us up with the review copy. Appreciate that, and thank you all for watching. If you're into graphic novels and you're into comics in general, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. Until next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.